everybody and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Jessie. I do bookish planning and lifestyle content here on YouTube. And today I have a very exciting informal tip video. I have made a list of all of the tips, tricks, advice, what we've learned through the first year of being new parents. I think I have felt every single emotion a person could feel like 50 times over this year alone with my son. Ooh, I'm not gonna get emotional in this video, but I am just so grateful to be a parent, and I know that I have said this before, and not every couple or person is able to feel the way I feel or have felt, and I just do not take a moment for granted with him. You know, during those really difficult times over the past year, and I'm sure after this later in life, that's one thing that me and my husband both really remind each other of. The first piece of advice is nothing lasts forever. It's so true. So let's dive into the list. I have broken this up 2/3 things. First is tips. 1, I know all of those really cutesy outfits. They're adorable. We love them. They are so cute. Your child will hardly be in them. And I know we get a lot of them as gifts because everyone just like goes goo goo gaga over baby clothes. Your child will hardly be in them, I promise you. Onesies. I'll figure out how to make like an Amazon list or whatever of all of the things baby related that I can link in this video, and I'll put that down below, or I'll just list and link everything. But we used, and everybody said don't get snaps. These are amazing. Kimono style, so they go across and down, and we loved them. Our son literally lived in them for months, and we got them in just white. And a lot of people are like, oh, why'd you get white? It's never gonna... You can throw them in the wash with bleach or whatever stain remover. We use the Oxy baby stain remover. They are still white. You just throw them in. Best thing ever. Along with that, if you can get zipped onesies, but the double zip onesies, they are a game changer. Also, do not put your kid in an outfit to go to the doctors. You need to get them naked, so you're taking off the pants, the socks, or the slippers and socks. You're taking off the sweater or the shirt to get them naked. Also, they're probably gonna poop, and then you need to change their diaper, and you gotta just don't do it. It's so much easier. Throw them in a onesie with a blanket in their car seat and take them. It's just maybe pants, like a long onesie, whatever, like the long, put them in a onesie. Also, we figured this out, I think his second round of shots, that I used the double zip onesie, and we would put him in his car seat, and then we would do his shots in each leg, and then I could rock him in the car seat. It's just a zip. You can rock them in the car seat, stand up and rock them, and then you're good to go, because our doctor at least leaves the shot till last. So it was super easy to just unzip to like the thighs, open the onesie, zip up, rock. And he settled way quicker because he felt snuggled in his car seat with the blanket over right away. It was fantastic. So next, swaddles are life. Swaddles and sleep sacks. We used these interchangeably, mostly swaddles, until he no longer fit in the swaddles we had, and then we transferred him over to a Halo swaddle sleep sack. It was the sleep sack, but it had the Velcro arms, so he was all snuggled in, and then we transitioned to actual just sleep sacks. And this was fantastic because he still hardly ever uses a blanket because of the sleep sack. It's fantastic. Love them. Contact naps. If you can, do contact naps, because We still contact nap in his room if he won't transfer. You know, being a parent comes first and all of the housework and whatever comes second. It's so much easier, one, to deal with a sleeping baby, but two, to give yourself that time, even if they're napping on you or beside you, to relax. Scroll on your phone, listen to music or a podcast or an audiobook, play a game on your phone. Like, you get the peace and quiet with having your baby, and you're kind of in that like, oh, I just need a moment to myself. Your baby sleeping, in my situation, it's just a sense of peace that you're both getting needed rest. Even if you're not napping, even if you are just, you know, reclined in a chair, relaxing, doing what you want on your phone. Or I would put headphones on and set up my iPad while he's still, you know, crawling around and doing stuff while I'm getting ready for his nap. I would set that up and be ready to go for when he fell asleep, and I would watch a show and he's just on me or beside me, and it was just much needed. So contact naps are amazing. Now we're gonna get into a little bit of, well, there's just one here, and it's a Haka collector. Absolutely great while I was breastfeeding. It literally like suctions onto your areola and it collects the letdown of your other breast. That definitely saves some ounces over the course of the time that I breastfed. Now, when they're a little bit older and they're kind of in solids, so we started off, easiest thing was breakfast and oatmeals. Our son loves oatmeal. He knows when it's oatmeal time. Absolutely loves it. I've tried a bunch of other breakfasts, French toast, eggs, like dry cereals, like I've tried a lot, and he loves oatmeal. So I started making it up and then blending it, and slowly blending it less and less, and now we're full oatmeal at almost 13 months, so like a year and 1 month. We also did that with rice and pasta, the same thing. But now he doesn't need to eat more than what we're giving him, but he needs more nutrients. And for us, meat is the hardest thing for him because he just like will chew on it and then spit it out. He's not ingesting it. So you get the little packets when they're like 7 to 8 months or whatever, beans, rice, and chicken. And what I would do is I would make up rice or pasta and I would put half of that packet in as like a sauce, and it's been working really well. We'll give him chunks of meat, but he doesn't actually eat the meat. So we're still gonna give him that, but he still needs that nutrients and protein that he's not going to get because he doesn't eat what we're giving him meat wise. But he'll suck on it, he'll chew on it, but he's not actually ingesting a lot of it. So now we're gonna go into lessons learned, and the very first thing I've already mentioned is nothing lasts forever. I knew this, but it hasn't really resonated with me until parenthood, and you finally find your groove and everything changes in the blink of an eye. That was so difficult the first few times because we are the type of people and family that really thrive, especially with our son, on routine and schedule. The way that we would do things, it was really great, and then as soon as we found that groove and we were in it for a day or two, everything would change. It's like, oh, now we got to do it all over again. And even the newborn scrunch, you savor that and you love it, but it's gone in the blink of an eye. Nothing lasts forever, good and bad. There's a saying that I have pretty much lived by since Teen Wolf. And Deacon said, middle to the mean, which means nothing is ever all good and nothing is ever all bad, and they have to meet in the middle. So the hardship you're going through or the happiness that you have is never going to last forever. They have to come into the middle, and that was something that really has kept us humble and has really gotten us through, I think. as well as each other, obviously. So nothing lasts forever. So cherish what you got. Next is, no matter what, you set the standard for your family. Rules, expectations, how you want to raise your children. Nobody else but you. You can take their advice and take what they're saying, but at the end of the day, it's your decision. You know, you're always going to get pushback from someone. So stick to what you want. Stick to what works for you and your family. You know, you're doing it for everybody's mental health. You, your partner, your friends, your son, your daughter, you know, your family. At the end of the day, nobody has to deal with that child but you. If someone else is demanding you move nap time, don't, because you're the one who has to put that child down at night. It is solely up to you. If you want to bubble wrap your child, that is your prerogative. Do I recommend it? No. Is that your decision? Absolutely. This is a really big one, and my husband actually mentioned this too, and it's only have what you need out. And, you know, we used to have all of the things. Everything we could possibly need, we would have out. In the sense of, like, toys, but, like, he's only doing tummy time, so why do we have, like, a walker out? Not needed. The way your house gets full of things that are not necessary for that stage of life is ridiculous, and it happens so fast. The beeping is our monitor that's about to die, but I don't want to get up to get the charger, so you might hear that for a second. And this is like diapers, clothes, toys, etc. Diapers. Why do you got number 2s out and they're in newborns? Doesn't make any sense. Clothes. Again, onesies. He lived in onesies, so why do we have all of these other? So we would put those at, like, in the bottom drawer that we hardly went in, instead of the top drawer and having other things. Like, we just started to realize what wasn't working for us and changed it right away. And this is going to be trial and error for every single person. Maybe this works for you, maybe it doesn't. There are tons of videos that I watched and tried out, and some of them worked and some of them didn't. And that's okay. That's the whole point. Pumping is the devil, even for those that it's necessary for. Pumping mothers don't ever get a break. And this isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's just like, you finally get comfortable and then that alarm will go off and you're like, ugh. Or, you know, you start leaking and you're like, oh no, not now. There were so many times where that happened. And, you know, it's so wonderful. Technology has done some wonderful things in the sense of portable pumps. It's fantastic, but still, you're pumping all the time. It seems like you're feeding and then you're pumping, and then you're feeding. Even when you're out, the milk ducts don't just be like, oh, we're out, we're not gonna make milk now. No, you're pumping in the car. It's not a bad thing. And, you know, sometimes pumping is very essential. You know, I wasn't an oversupplier, but my friend who we were pregnant around the same time, we were pregnant at the same time, she was an overproducer, so she pumped way more than me. It's very interesting to hear other people's takes and what works and what doesn't. Birthdays. Obviously, my son turned 1. It was, obviously a big milestone. First year on earth. Birthdays are such a controversial topic that I figured out around that time. Some people are like, oh, you need to do a party and this and that, and then I did a joint party for my son and my husband. My husband was turning 30, my son was turning 1, but we had it in June around my husband's birthday because we had friends from out of town, and why ask them to come twice and deal with that whole logistics for them and for us, and throwing 2 parties, and it just didn't make any sense. And here is what I took away from all of the background advice is that birthday parties for get everything ready before you open the vault. That is diapers, wipes, diaper cream, the little spatula, whatever you're gonna use before you open that diaper. Get it ready, because eventually they turn into little alligators in the water and they start rolling, or you don't have enough of what you need. AKA wipes. So, ooh, this is for bath time. The Angel Care bath thing, I'll insert a photo. Flip that over. He saw it on a TikTok, and let me tell you. And last but not least, we both had this, but he had it on his list, was an open line of communication. And this starts before your child is born. What is postpartum going to look like? What help is most common to need? Check-ins during those very critical first few days. Do you have headaches? Do you need me to take baby? What would you like to eat? Is there anything that you need? On both ends. It's very common for men not to feel very needed postpartum or connection with baby. And that is very normal. It's not wrong. It's not right. You are entitled to feel however you feel, but an open line of communication to express that. I know people who, you know, they do a bottle at least once a day, once a week, to one, give mom a break, or two, to at least feel that connection. I also know other parents who did every other nap, contacted on switching out parents because dad wanted to feel that deep connection with baby. Whatever works for you and your family, do that. But an open line of communication. If you are feeling a certain way, don't let it fester. Good or bad, share those moments with each other. My husband and I have a thing that I heard from a psychologist online, and it was no marriage is 50-50 all the time. And this is very common. And I think I've talked about this before. You know, sometimes it's, hey, I have 20, and that's the whole point. During the first few weeks, at least, in our situation and in most situations, not every situation, so don't come at me, mom only has 10 to 20% as a flat line, a max of 10 to 20%, and most of the time it's lower than that. Mom is default parent in most cases because, you know, most moms, not all, want to breastfeed and have baby, and it's really important for that regulation and things like that. And that is again very hard for some parents on both ends. It's hard on mom and it's also hard on dad. So having that open communication. We also have a thing, do you need an ear or do you need solutions? Do you is this like a brainstorming, let's find a solution, or do you just need to get what's on your chest off your chest? This helped tremendously because most arguments happen when someone just needs to let it out. It's not, oh, well, I asked you if you needed this. That's not what I need right now. And because we don't communicate what we actually need from the outcome of us talking about our feelings, other people or the other person is feeling insecure, they're feeling attacked, or even if it has nothing to do with them. Right? So it's, do you need solutions or do you just need to get it off your chest? And that has helped us tremendously, not just as parents, but as spouses. You know, laying down at night when you're both exhausted and the baby hasn't slept and, you know, you've been up for 3 hours throughout the night, you know, that's some bonding experience right there, but it's also, you're most vulnerable. And that's when some of our best conversations actually happened, was at that time. I think this worked really well tonight, but maybe when you did this, it doesn't. We both prefaced when we're giving criticism like that, like, hey, this worked for me, maybe it'll work for you, because kids do get mom and pop syndrome, right? What they'll do with mom, they won't do with dad, and what they do with their parents, they won't do with others. Sometimes it will work and sometimes it won't work, but being able to give that is extremely important. That is all of the things that had the most impact within my son's first year of life. I am so grateful to have a partner who really understands me and how I communicate and what I need even before I need it. And I know not a lot of people have that connection even with their spouses. And I am so grateful to be a parent and to be able to have children, because there was a time I didn't think I could. So these are the things that made the most impact in our life as parents. And I think on his too, because taking care of yourself as an individual and as a parent and as a spouse is super important. And, you know, we can do our best. If I have 50%, I am giving a full 50%, but it's still not 100%. Does that make sense? So if I only have half a cup of water and I give that to you, it's still not a full cup of water you could have, because I don't have that to give. And when you have as much support and, you know, communication and understanding how much you have to give on both ends, allows you to parent better. This year has been so wonderful, and again, like I said in the beginning, ups and downs and twists and turns, and they've all been amazing in retrospect to look back on. And some of it's like, that was really cool, and some of it's like, wow, we got through that together. So gratitude fully in my heart, and I am so excited for our future endeavors and to continue to watch our little man grow. So thank you so much for watching this video. Like this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you want more content from me. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye.